Bottom of the evening to ya. All right, y'all. I am dog tired, so let's get into it. Um, I'm looking at the 15-minute chart here. Um, Essentially, I'm just gonna make this one more like a personal diary to myself. But what was so interesting is that I think, in retrospect, I could see where I had bias to the downside. Yes, in part because of the levels that were marked out. Um, and I was able to take two trades, and I was able to take a trade to the downside here. Um, but thankfully, I held. I mean, I jumped out. Otherwise, I would have gotten just crushed. Part of me is a little bit just apprehensive because it's like, how did I miss this move? But I think I'm just trying to temper myself for the long run because I know what I saw, right? And the last 2 weeks of December just taught me that there are going to be days where other people's strategies play out, and there's going to be days where mine, play out. And this is kind of like second day of the year for the most part. I did trade on Friday, that Friday the second or third, um, but Monday being the beginning of the first week of the year trading. And so, I kind of feel like I'm missing out on some trades and that type of thing. But um, that's just how I'm feeling, right? So that's and my end of the day thing. There were some interesting things that played out here. I know that I'd like to tell you guys to get out by 8:30. Um, but I wanted to show you some interesting things that I saw that, and I actually, let me see. Let's try to make this short because I like even myself. I'm so tired. Um, I saw something like for 11 o'clock, so we're gonna work our way up there. But I'm just looking to see if there's any higher time frame stuff that came up pre-market that I could have seen that would have given me an indication that we had upside. So 6:43 on the 15-minute time frame. This came up, um, and this really paid off. I feel like I just didn't trust it. Um, Had a little bit of a pullback like 7 minutes later. Um, but in terms of higher time frame, I wanted to show this to you guys. Well, this was a biggie. At 11:31, we had a 4-hour or internal breakout to the upside, and I put on my notes here: keep it like your life depends on it. We went up till the end of the day, and this came up at a 6:49 last time, and it came up after this fifth candle, and it will go in that direction for 4 hours. Um, Price will continue to the top or bottom of the order block formed. Um, let's see. If you see it on the fourth candle, hold bait, especially prices contracted at 12,000 for volume. Hold like if you get in on Friday with 0.40 contract, and then at 9,000 volume, it should get a hold until it hits the level with 12,000 contracts until 8 for 308, 11%. So this went off at 11:31. Um, so if we go even to the 15-minute, 131, considering it was after market, after, you know, like when I usually like to trade, like you could still see that we had a nice strong push. Um, Considering usually later in the day there's not that much volume, but 11:31, this hit 11:31 and did what needed to do. We also had a 1 hour bearish swing. I put here that last time it went up last time, and so here we went up a lot till the end of the day, and it came up at 6:43. So we also had the same thing here too, where at 11:31 this and this went off together, and so we also went up till the end of the day there. Beautiful. Then we had also a bullish change of character. Now this one, I think what I was saying is that we went down to the 3 minute equilibrium before we continued to the upside. Um, we also had a 4 hour bullish change of character. We had a 1 hour bearish, so journal. So yeah, my notes are pretty accurate. But I was at work and I will kind of pay attention to it. I feel like maybe towards the end of the year, especially December, it just hits a little bit different. We have more people playing and more volatility or whatnot. But so yeah, so there's that. Now this is what I saw, and actually, I can see where I can adjust what I was because I think on the 1 hour, I didn't see any volatility on the 1 hour. Where I saw that the volatility was on the 1 day, and so I might have allowed myself to get like a little bit hyped up. So I think just moving forward, I think I'm gonna try to turn a little bit of a blind eye to the higher time frame in terms of like the liquidity stuff. But yeah, the 1 hour wasn't showing any liquidity. Where I was showing liquidity was like right here, and I just freaked out because I saw that this had formed. This one hadn't. This second one hadn't formed yet, but we were right here, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you guys! If price touches this, and then we go to the, start to see rejection, we're gonna have a strong rejection because this is a 1 day time frame type of thing." Um, but um, let's just go up a little bit and see. Oh, you know what the other thing? Yo, dude. So remember, for those of you who are with me live, I wanted to see on a 3 minute what happens when we switch from a strong high to a weak high. Let's go back and look at that real quick. And I'm gonna try to keep this as short as possible because let me tell you, I'm so tired. I'm like kind of like jet lagged. I'm still adjusting. So even though I kept waking up at my regular times, um, during vacation, I had 2 week vacation. So this, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, okay. Now this is interesting. So, ladies and gentlemen, on the 3 minute, I will show it to you again tomorrow for those of you who didn't see it live, or you can just go back to the live if you want and just go to that timestamp on my thing. But at 7:27, the I guess category switched from strong high to a weak high, and I was like, this is why it's so important. Like I've learned so much to manage my myself and to be disciplined because I would see the difference and I knew that it was significant, but I didn't quite understand yet and I didn't collect the data and I would jump in and then this would have happened, right? I would have jumped in because it happened on this candle right here. It happened on this candle. And there was an ever so slight small move up. But what made me want to kind of like hold back a little bit too is when I saw that we opened a little bit lower right after we went to switch to a week high. I was like, yeah, this is not going to be the best move for you, babe. Like, hold on. And then I had to go to work. I had to go get ready for work, do my makeup. I knew what outfit I wanted to wear. I got confidence on my hair and my makeup. It was amazing. And I felt amazing. Okay? But I was like, that's not gonna be the best food for you, babe. Sure enough, it wasn't because I would have been caught up trying to go to work and then been frazzled, and then I would have been giving back my profit, and then it would have opened below here, and I would have tried to hold, and then it would have, continued to the downside, and then I would have been like, this is why you're not supposed to get in a trade, and then just gotten caught in all of this chop and the mental, and then 8:30 was we would have been here and I would have been like, F it, I'm just gonna jump out, and still have it open below here and stuff and just frazzled, right? But now we know that when that 3 minute thing happens, when we switch from, and I wish there was an indicator for it, but there isn't. So it's just something that we have to just kind of like be prepared to look for is just, you know, look for when it goes switches to week high. If I see it, that means the institution see it, and they are going to look for where they can buy, and they're going to want to try to buy off of VWAP. So we can wait until price comes down to VWAP, um, kind of bounced off of the 200 right here too, and then we can just comfortably jump in and ride that baby all the way up. Yo, that's a beautiful thing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful play. Um, this is what I'm referring to. See, so in spite of all that move, like you can still see, oh, you can still see that this is what I was talking to. This is still showing a weak high, and at some point when we start to go, um, start looking for puts, it's going to switch to strong high, and then we'll just do the same thing. We'll look for entry at the top, and then ride that thing all the way down as long as we can. As long as it stays at week high, we're going to stay in that beat. Um, so yeah, I think that's where I got a little bit faked out today. That being said, I'm being so gentle on myself. One of the I watch a lot of like traders just for like motivational, so not so much for strategy hopping. I do also watch a lot of traders on like YouTube University, and not necessarily YouTube. Like my attention span lately is like, even though I'm a shy person, I take my data really quick. I'm a quiet type A, so I Instagram is just good for me. And if you don't talk fast enough, I'm gonna be like, it's too slow. Um, but I will listen to like Instagram people to kind of get little hacks. Like for example, one of the good ones I learned was how to determine a good quality gap, and how it opens up a fair value gap versus a gap is even more profitable than just the fair value gap, and how to identify that. And like I said, I've listened to so many people talk about fair value gaps, and some people are good at explaining it, and some people are not. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop consuming anything I can to understand how fair value gaps work, and until you hit that gem, like literally you're just mining for data until there's that one person that explain it in 30 seconds on Instagram with visuals, stuff that I been watching for a long time. So, um, I say all this to say, um, I'm just gonna have to sit with myself because today was one of those days where I could have felt like, oh, my strategy didn't work, or I should look for other strategies to make sure I can leverage it. But I think I'm just gonna try to trust the process a little bit more going into the rest of um, the month. Another thing that was kind of frustrating for me too was this came up like around. So this came up actually. So yeah, when I got in my trade, this hadn't even popped up yet. This internal breakout thing hadn't popped up yet. And if I had seen it, I think I would have tried to hold a little bit more. Um, but also, this came up like somewhere around maybe here like 8:03. Um, and I think there was another one that formed here, and I remember thinking like, oh man, that's a lot of chop. And so you just want to be careful and like really respect your rules because if you keep jumping in, would you have been profitable eventually with this one? Yes, right? Even if you decided to hold until 10, if you decided to wait until 10:30, 10:30, the second session would have, the PM session would have opened, and you would have had an order block here, and then that would be your second play for the day, and confluence to the upside. Let me see, because this, yeah, this is a 10, all right? So I'm gonna just keep this really short because I feel like my second trade I did get in here, and I could have held a little bit longer, especially because it was so solid. There was a fair value gap right here, and I was like, ooh, if you give me another fair value gap under this fast CMA, I'm gonna take it. And so when it popped up, honey, I jumped in. I jumped in and I took this little move from here to here. And because it was my second trade and I'm just really not wanting to get back any of my profit, I did jump out. I don't know. That's something we're gonna have to sleep on and be like, are you just being a little bit too risky? You could have waited a little bit more. Now that being said, it did pull back. Would have probably started to get a little bit nervous, and then but it moved down really beautifully here. Um, you know, and then I would have been like a little bit pissed if it had come back up again and then start to sell off. And then at that point, I'm trying to decide like, am I being greedy? Um, I didn't see any other reason for me to jump out here. I think their equilibrium was around here, an equilibrium level. Um, was there anything else? So that was my second trade. My first trade, he. Let me look at my phone. Let me see what my first trade was. My first trade was more profitable. Um, and I feel like I did get out of that one just a teeny tiny hair too soon too. Let me see for an hour. My first trade. I just keep hearing like you can be tired but do it tired. Oh, you know what? I keep forgetting after um like certain hours, then you can't see the contracts anymore. So my first trade I bought puts. My first trade I bought puts. Um, which is just honestly scary, given the fact that we ended up being bullish for the day. And what would have influenced that is because we were, wow, that's scary. Oh, I know what it was. I know why I got it. Okay, okay, okay. Here we go. So I know this looks like a lot. And that was kind of what had me psyched out a little bit too. But the truth of the matter is, even if I didn't have my drawings, um, this was looking kind of bullish in here. But this internal breakout level had popped up. And so there was an internal breakout that is part of my strategy that did show up, but it did not play out the way that I needed it to. It should have when the candle closed. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Um, it I should have waited for the candle to close and then for it to stay there, which I think it might have. And then I decided to get out because we were getting into this blue zone, and I just wanted to um, it was a very, very small move. But like I said, I've learned to respect these call zones, and I think there was another like 3 minute and 15 minute, um, 3 minute and 5 minute awkward take profit zone here. So, and let me see what time did I take that call. Let me take that put. So I took that put. I was literally in it for seconds. I got in at 6:33 and I got out at 6:33. So it wasn't even a minute. 6:30, 6:33. Yeah, I'm a little bit. I think yeah. So when this had come down, I was like, let's wait for the candle to close, you guys. Let's just be patient. And sure enough, price came up here, and at that point, the internal breakout was flashing. And so I was like, if we come back down below this area, then I'm going to jump in some puts. Now, mind you, the alert thing did not come back up and the candle did not close with the internal breakout indicator that I'm used to. But once it came and started to reject back down again below the pivot level, and we had crossed over that threshold again for the internal breakout level, we were like somewhere around here. And we came below here, but I want to say I got out like right around here. I got out right around here. Um, and I just didn't want to have a major bounce. And so I remember getting out and price came all the way down. And I remember saying, like, oh, wow, okay, so it really did just come all the way down to the bottom of this level. But as soon as we did that, you can see we started to skyrocket to the upside. Um, what did fake me out psychologically is that on the 1 day, um, and part of the problem is, you know what? I think um, my computer's tired too, y'all. It's not even. It's like we don't want to talk anymore. Well, that's waiting to come up. We also had data at 7. Um, Let me share this tab instead while that one's loading. We had data at 7 a.m. So um, this just means anything below 50, we're thinking the market is contracting. We came in just point 0.1 difference here. Employment, we were forecast for 441.1, came in at point 0.9, just 0.8 difference. Market took it as a good. Um, it was, you know, point 0.1 difference here. And then we did have sales, total vehicle sales. Why did I think it said oil? Oh my gosh! I think on the live this morning, I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, we have no wait. Today is Tuesday. This is what came in. Oh, that's hilarious. I was going over this morning. Okay, this is what happened this morning. So yeah, we came in hella good. So this, y'all, I'm gonna have to refresh in the mornings too because this isn't really quite okay. That was my mea culpa. Okay, so we forecasted at 53, came in 54. So that explains, like, we actually came out way more on the upside. Okay, yes, I saw you. Thank you. And then here we came up really well too. So that just definitely explains. I had marked my stuff for 7, and but the data dropped at 6:45, and then 1:30 we did have crude oil stock change and data that should have dropped, and I don't see the actual here, but this is green, so it's showing like I guess it is bullish. Tomorrow we have more data at 7. We have job opening stuff at 7. Let's see. Oh wait, is it because wow, it did load. It's just that for one, I need to be on Tuesday. Okay. It's like just do it, tired. I'm trying to, and I feel like part of it is me trying to get everything out when these things take time to learn them anyways. But um I saw this, and I think when price opened, I said if we come up into here and start to reject a little bit, I'm gonna expect, when price opens below here to start looking for puts, and so that lined up with what I was looking for the downside. But I think moving forward, like if it's not showing up on the 1 hour, then I'm gonna because this to me, especially on the lower, on the 1 hour, is liquidity. You're gonna get chopped and screwed on the 1 hour. But on the 1 day, you know, um, I think I did what I needed to. I was cautious, um, but it's not as big of a deal here. I think on the 4 hour, was there anything there too? I should have prepared for though. Okay. So yeah, those are the takeaways for today. Looks like we're bullish for tomorrow too. Pre-market, post-market, we had a fair value gap, so we might come down pre-market tomorrow and just fill some orders to just continue to push into the upside. And IW1 did not have a gap. SPY and QQQ did have a gap. Let's just take a look and see what happened with QQQ. I decided not to go over to QQQ. Um, oh, I was about to say if this was today, I'd have said that is diabolical. Came right to the gap and just moved up, but no, this is Tuesday. So Tuesday, um, QQQ had no intentions of coming down to the. I marked this level right here. I'm sad. Look for puts on QQQ. There's the 1 hour gap below, so we're gonna keep this on here. Because for the same reason, like when we break below this, we can look for puts. Like it's gonna continue to kind of fill orders here, and I think I know what to look for. I'll try to walk you through it. So it's okay when it comes up here. Sometimes it will reject off of that one touch, and then we'll start to, and then it will come up and go up a little bit higher, and then whatever, right? But um, now that we're in the zone, when we are coming back down, once we break below this, yeah, pound town. Um, the thing is, I only have my alerts set for IWM and SPY, so maybe let's just take that out so I can see it in the future. I'm gonna just set an alert here for Make sure that it says GCP. This is how you use your alerts like, to save your time. And then Spy, I was feeling more bearish on Spy today than I was yesterday. I'm so tired, guys. But this is good. Maybe I'll sleep good tonight. And then we had put a alert here because I was like, if you get below here, we're definitely doing puts, y'all. Um, but Spy is on its own. If we break above this, we're going to the moon. A quote I really like today, and I think I'll close out with that, is that we it's not my job to predict the market, it's my job to react, right? Um, and so just need to remember that moving forward. So let's see, QQQ, and another thing I've learned too is um, yeah, this is gonna be the last thing for sure. So like let's just see if today I'm gonna start taking my makeup off. If today had been like a bearish day for me or I had lost money, I have to learn to manage my emotions to understand that okay, it didn't quite work out how I wanted today and 2 days as a matter of fact, but let me still get my head in the game because the thing about the strategy is that it's gonna play out and you have to be prepared for the next day to allow it to play out without the toll of what happened the 2 other days. You know, that's just a part of the game. When it doesn't matter what strategy you play, like if you do orb, orb is not going to hit every single day of the week. You know, it might hit like 3 days out of the week, and so you just have to manage your risk with that. Um, let's see. Oh, another cool play, and then I'm gonna be done for real because girl is tired. I think I mentioned it, but let me just kind of like close out with this. So, the double FBD. See, I think we did talk about it because that one was exciting to me. But and I did. I remember I was at work and I had just gotten to work, and I remember that double FBG to the downside put some money in your girl's account, and could have held just a little bit longer. But again, it was my second trade of the day, and I just didn't want to give back any profit or go through the emotional toll of like drawdown and stuff. But if I'm not mistaken, we did have double FBGs here too. And it just is what it is. I think it's just looking at where price is in relation to the fast EMA and the VWAP. Whenever you start to panic, just say, okay, if it just really, like these two are close, if we are close enough to VWAP, let's just try to hold a little bit more, and so here you can see we just held above that on its own as well. Had a little bit of a fake out here where price opened below. Would have faked a lot of people out, which that would have really sucked if you're following your rules, and then just skyrocketed up from there. A part of me kind of just feels like I should have read this for the blue zone that it is, for the call zone that it is. Um, it does overlap with this 1 day, top of the bullish 1 day order block that formed here. Um, but it just is really be to trade another day. And All right, you guys, have a good night, good morning. Oh, please don't tell me. It says your browser has lost connection to your screen share audio. Try sharing your screen again. Ooh, I'm gonna come for StreamYard. I hope you guys can hear me. Um, I really hope. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it and see if you guys can hear me. Cause please don't tell me I did all that talking in vain. All right, I'll catch you guys bright and early in the morning. Goal is to go to bed early, get some rest, get my steps in early in the morning, so I don't have to do it so late in the day. And then come home, and then tomorrow. So just a little preview. Wednesdays tend to be consolidation days. Um, but it's a new day, it's a new dawn, and we have a lot going on with the news. So uh, I think the goal is to just be prepared if my strategy plays out, then we take it. But if it doesn't, then just be extra comfortable just sitting on the sidelines and being like, well, you know what? Um, this, I feel like if I had seen this too, on the 1 hour, I just need to program my brain for it to just hold a little bit longer. Very beautiful play from level to level, you know. That being said, I'm gonna delete this rotation zone here thing. That was just noise. So I guess once it, you know, became validated we no longer needed it, I think moving forward we could just delete if the rotation zone is not there, then we don't need to leave it on there. Because we're trying to eliminate as much noise as possible. Um, I'm going to delete this too. We don't need, once the rotation levels have been crossed, we don't need those anymore. Beautiful, beautiful. And then so this happened at, let me see, this was at 8. We had a rejection off the previous day high. Oh, that was another reason I felt comfortable getting into puts is because we kept failing the previous day high. I think um, yeah. And then, but it was before 7:30, so it was more on this side. We were starting to reject the previous day high. Once we broke above, I'm just looking to see like when this plays out. Kind of gonna have to give it some time. Like even 9, it ran up. 10:30 is maybe when I would have started to look at getting back in. Yeah. So yeah. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.